Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your July soul session. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot, or whatever. So, anywho, we're going to be looking at an overall energy as well as a challenge. And then we're going to be getting into, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Then we're going to be getting into a more specific spread. God, I hate when this happens. Okay, a more specific spread. We're going to be looking at what's going on for you guys for the month of July. I hope you have been doing well, Taurus. I find this interesting. I was saying that to my staff the other day. The order that, because I do the readings by who had the highest views last month. Not hating on y'all for not watching, but I just thought it was interesting that. Oh, here we go. I just thought it was interesting the order that the readings were in. I was like, that's so interesting because Taurus and Gemini, like I think in the history of this channel, like the bottom three is usually taking turns between Scorpio, Leo, Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Virgo. So those are like the five signs that are usually interchanging, like that are in the bottom three. So I was like so shocked. I was like, wow. I was like, Taurus and Gemini have never been like last. And my staff is like, that means it's probably gonna be some drama. So we about to see if it's gonna be some drama. But I hope it's not, because I am a Taurus. And I also have Gemini in my chart. But anywho, the overall energy for Taurus for the this is so appropriate for Taurus for the month of July. Pay no mind to the cases of water behind me. Don't you dare judge me. We have the Four of Cuppies, and this is challenged by another four. We have the Four of Swords. So what it's looking like, Taurus, the first word that I hear is apathy. Interesting. So there could be a little bit of feeling a tad bit apathetic. You guys are in a liaison phase, Taurus. You're in the meantime, in between time, as I call it. Let me take this AirPod out of my ear. But you guys are in the meantime, in between time. That's what I like to call it. It's more or less there's a chapter that has ended for my Taurians coming into the month of July. There's a chapter that has ended, or a cycle. I don't know what is going on with my voice. What is happening? Throat chakra, Taurus. Anywho, or there's a cycle that has ended. And the main issue here is it's not necessarily knowing where or how to chart forward from here, right? So with this, thing ending, it could be, a specific event where, it's like a breakup or a life transition. It could be, leaving a job, leaving school, like graduating or something like that. Or it could just be an emotional transition, in the sense where once upon a time you were passionate about a particular thing or a particular path, and now it's not really floating your boat anymore, for a lack of better terms. But it's pretty clear that whatever this is, like, you can't go backwards, right? Or you may not even want to go backwards, but it's not necessarily knowing what step to take to move forward. I don't want to necessarily say disillusioned per se. There could be a little bit of that going on. But I don't really want to use that term, because it feels more to me, you're present, you're aware of where it is that you are. You just don't know where to go from here. Now, when we talk about the challenge as a double Taurus and having lots of Taurus friends, you may not like it. But with this Four of Swords, the challenge is really like sitting in this meantime, in between time. It's like letting yourself settle into the void, so to speak, like sitting in the discomfort, if you will, right? Something I've talked about a lot this month with everyone actually comes from one of your readings from May. And I wrote a piece about it that's on the community tab, where I talked about the best way out being through, right? Now, the interesting thing is, with most other signs prior to you guys, Taurus, everyone else is kind of in transit, right? So they're like on the journey, walking, they're on the path. But for you guys aren't on the path yet because you don't know what the path is. So the thing that would really behoove you guys, and what the biggest challenge is going to be this month, is sitting with the silence, as we call it in therapy. So that discomfort of, I hate it here, I don't like it here, I don't want to be here, or, however it is you're judging the situation, it's allowing yourself to feel all of those things and kind of feel your way through it. And I feel why this is more or less coming up is because the truth or the clarity that you guys are looking for, it's going to be found in sitting in this discomfort. But what I'm picking up intuitively is, of course, that's difficult because it kind of feels like how can I say it? Like I'm feeling it, I'm seeing it. I don't know how to put that into words. It's almost like this is gonna sound so dumb. Um, I don't want to say it like that. Help me. It feels like an itch on the inside, like kind of like fire under your butt. You know what I mean? Where it's this unction inside of you that's telling you you should be doing something. So you have that sensation of like, I need to go, right? But you don't know where to go. So I feel that's kind of where the frustration is kind of coming from, is you have this unction, this itch that's saying go, but you're like, where? You know what I mean? It's like someone jumping in the car and saying like drive, and you're like, well, where are we going? And it's like, I'll tell you in a minute. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that vibe. But the solution to this for you guys, which I say is going to be difficult, is sitting in this and trusting and knowing that, in the midst of whatever this is you guys are going through, this, little dark time or what have you, that the solution that you're needing is going to be found in that discomfort, right? Now, getting into our more specific spread, your central energy, which is representing you guys for the month of July, is the Six of Cuppies in the reverse. Your past influence is the Ace of Cuppies. I'm sorry. It's funny because I'm like, we already know what you did with that cup. That's pretty clear. We know what you did with it. Oh my God, it's hilarious. Okay, anyway, your hidden influence is the Knight of Wands. Did I say the Knight? I meant the King. The King of Wands. And your potential outcome, well, the Three of Wands, okay? And what to look out for moving forward, we have the Three of Cuppies. Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so Taurus, with this Ace of Cuppies, I want to clarify this, to be honest with you. Coming in from the latter part of June and the beginning part of July, it's an opportunity that was offered to you guys coming into the present moment of the midpoint of July. But like I was saying, with this Four of Cups you guys have the over, I'm sorry, it's just so funny. I think if there would have been any other Cups card that was in your overall other than the Four of Cups of the After Tarot, it would not be this funny to me. But whatever this is, right? I feel with this particular thing that, and I don't know, this may be something that we revisit later, Taurus, now that I think about it. There's an opportunity, and if you still have time, then it may behoove you to take advantage of this. But I feel there's an opportunity that was offered to you guys somewhere between the 15th of June all the way up until when you're watching this now. So it's been an entire month, right? So somewhere in this month, this thing has been offered to you. And I feel it's a couple of things. For one group of you, you don't necessarily see the value in this particular thing, because it's showing up as an Ace of Cups as opposed to a 10 of Cups. You know what I'm saying? To use a corny kind of example, which I would never recommend, but it's just a hypothetical. But it's kind of like if, you met a guy and the guy seems like your dream guy, but you find out that, he hasn't achieved anything in life yet, but he just has like a great deal of potential, right? It's kind of like passing that person up because they haven't developed their potential. Most of my subscribers that watch me, are older, like in my age range. Hence the reason why I say I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. Maybe for somebody who's like, a teenager or like in their 20s or something, like potential. But I feel like at our age, it's just kind of like, if you haven't developed your potential by now, what have you been doing all of this time? You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, but back to the analogy. So it's kind of like discarding it because you can't see the potential in it, or even what I just heard, which is kind of cute because I just read an article that was saying that Gen Z is doing a lot of this. It's kind of like if you have the opportunity to have a house, but the house is a fixer upper, right? And it's not seeing the potential in it because, it's not a completed thing, right? So there's one group of you where that's the case, where this thing that was offered, and I don't really feel when it was offered, you were thinking like, oh, this isn't a completed thing. This isn't my 10 of cups. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a fixer upper. Like, I don't think you were perceiving it that way. It's like your perception was just like, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't see the potential of how this could grow into something that would actually be in alignment with you and something that would be more fulfilling for you. On the other side of this, I feel it's kind of like the back end of the first group. Well, I mean, honestly, I could really push that over here, and that would kind of make y'all one group, to be honest. That would make it simpler. But whatever. If we could say, like, with this one group, it's really like there's something that's on offer and you didn't see the potential in it. On the other side of it, it's something that you were offered and you didn't feel like it was in alignment with you. So it's the same kind of circumstance for the two groups, but it's really like a perspective kind of thing. You know what I mean? Whether you're seeing it as this doesn't resonate with me at all, or this kind of does, but I want the finished product, in so many words, right? But the reason why I say, if this is something that was offered to you, and I'll say it this way, if this is something that was offered to you and you've been kind of thinking back on, should I have really turned down that job or that date, or whatever the case, and you've been thinking that, if it's still an opportunity for you to, fraternize with this thing, I would say take the opportunity, because I feel, where I will say disillusionment, I feel because of where you guys are right now, there's a tad bit of disillusionment because of the present circumstance. So it's like the old saying that says, never make a promise to someone when you're, and I'm totally butchering it, but never make a promise to someone when you're extremely happy or when you're extremely depressed, right? Because you're not at baseline. So you're not really thinking clearly. So you can make promises that you wouldn't necessarily keep. So when you go back to baseline, you'll be like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? Why did I say I would give, 50% of my lottery earnings to, this person? You know what I'm saying? So what I would say is, I feel the present state that you guys are in, well, not even just your present state, but the state that you've been in leading up to this point, can kind of misconstrue your perception of this particular thing. You know what I mean? Or because you feel just kind of overwhelmed with where you are in life right now. Like, if we use the fixer upper as an example, if you were to look at where you are in life right now, it's like, I don't have, the time, energy, bandwidth, whatever, to take this on, right? But when the circumstances shift, I feel this could potentially be something that you would come to regret, which leads me into, child, look, I was about to clarify that, but I just intuited it. But let's clarify it anyway. But that's what leads me into this 6 of Cups in the reverse. That's why I say I feel some of you guys, with whatever this is that's on offer, I feel for a lot of you, it's kind of on your mind. I think in the bigger picture for the Taurians that would resonate with this, I feel for the bigger picture of the Taurians that will resonate with this, it's kind of like a reminiscent kind of energy, where you're just in a headspace to where you're kind of backtracking. I wouldn't necessarily say, well, I mean, it could be a little bit of ruminating, but I feel like the headspace for a lot of Taurians right now has been very past tense, to where you may be replaying certain situations in your head, certain friendships, certain relationships, jobs that you've been at, choices you've made, people that you left behind, people you decided to keep in your life. It's just kind of doing almost like a reminiscing, like, roll call of things, right? But I feel for that small group of you to where this offer that was given to you within the last month, I feel that energy is over the Taurus collective of this thinking back to things, but specifically for this group of people who know that you've had an offer recently. You're thinking about other things, but your mind does keep going back to this particular thing, this opportunity that was on offer. And I feel the reason for that, and which could quite possibly be the truth for a lot of you, is when I talk about this Four of Swords being your challenge and sitting in that discomfort. It's like that offer could very well be the discomfort in accepting that offer. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I want to say that. For some of you, it's like a date. It's so weird. But that's the thing that feels the most prominent to me. And it might not be like, it might be a person that you're not really that attracted to, or you're not that interested in, or, you just feel like I'm not in a place to even date right now. Like, that's the last thing on my mind. But I feel that's an opportunity that would behoove you to take, not really necessarily in the sense of it being like a love thing, but you never know like what could happen. Like, you don't know if that person may end up being a bridge to where it is that you're trying to go, or they might know someone or introduce you to someone, or you might actually have a good time. I'll get more to that later when we get to the what to look out for. But the card clarifying, oh wow, that's funny. The card that's clarifying the Ace of Cups is pleasure seekers in the reverse. So yeah, here's the thing, Taurus, what I can tell you, and that's literally going to lead me into what our what to look out for card is. I feel like I'm going straight across this spread. I don't know what is going on with my mouth today. I feel like I can't make words. But anywho, with this pleasure seekers in the reverse, with this Ace of Cups, what this feels like to me, Taurus, is almost like self-punishment, if I could be honest, where it's like, and that's something we're guilty of. I know I'm guilty of it as a double Taurus, but that's something as Taurians, we be doing that. It's kind of like, if one domain of our life isn't going right, like if our money is like all funny and stuff, it's like, I do not deserve nice things. It's like, I am broke right now. No, I cannot go outside. No, I cannot fraternize nor gallivant because I am broke. I do not deserve to do nice, fun things, right? But I feel like you're overly holding yourself accountable. And the kind of vibe I'm starting to get with this Taurus, which is very interesting, is when I say sit in the discomfort, right? I feel kind of like you guys are already doing that, which is why I say like the self-punishment. So it's like you're sitting in the discomfort, but you're going all the way to one side of the Likert scale with it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm an adult, and because things aren't right, I need to focus. And because I don't know where it is that I'm going next, I don't need to do anything else. I need to focus on the solution to this particular problem, right? Like, that's what my energy needs to be on. But I feel with that, it's kind of like writer's block. Like, for any of you who are writers out there, whenever you have writer's block, the solution to your writer's block is not to just keep staring at a blank document, right? It's like you have to get up and kind of switch up the energy. You got to go take a walk, or, go partake in a hobby, or, watch some TV, listen to some music or something to try to switch up the energy to get re-inspired, right? That's kind of where I feel like you guys are. It's the thought of, I made this decision and now I'm here, and, I can't go back to this. I thought this was going to work. It didn't. Or I'm no longer passionate about this. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, this job ended, and it's like, now I'm here, like if you're like a contract worker, it's like, okay, this contract ended, and, I thought it was going to be extended. It's not. And now I'm here. I don't know what else to do. You're thinking back to like, shoot, why didn't I try to prepare and look for other contracts? Why did I just think that this was going to work? You know what I mean? It's being in that space. And then, you get asked out on a date. a friend asks you to go to dinner or, to attend an event or something like that. And you're like, no, 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 I don't have time for that. I can't, because I need to focus on this. So that's saying I need to focus on this blank document that I have no inspiration to write anything on the page. So it's more or less like sucking the opportunity out of your life. Now, what's interesting here, and I don't think I'd have enough time to tell the whole story, but I kind of might need to. It makes me think of this little story I heard. I don't remember where I heard it, but there was this man, and he was watching the news and he saw that, a flood was coming, right? So he prayed and he asked God, to save him from the flood, right? So this guy comes along on a boat and was like, hey, come hop in my boat. He's like, I'll take you to higher ground. And he's like, no, 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 I'm good. I'm sitting here praying, waiting on the Lord, right? So then it's like a helicopter comes along, right? Because he's like on his roof by now, right? So a helicopter comes along and he's like, hey, grab onto like the little rope ladder. And he's like, no, 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 it's okay. I'm praying, I'm waiting on the Lord, right? So then the water gets super high and the guy dies. So when he goes to heaven, he asks God, like, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I sent you the news report, the boat, and the helicopter. What else do you want? Right? So I remember the first time I heard that, I laughed hysterically. And that's very much what it is that I'm feeling now. It's like the solution to your problem, I feel Taurus is seeing it as very linear. You know what I mean? Like, hypothetically, I don't have money, right? The solution to my problem is money, right? Me going out and spending money is not going to make me money. Me hanging out with my friends is not going to make me money. Me going on a date is not going to make me money. So I'm not doing any of those things, right? Even though it can provoke pleasure, I'm not doing any of that, right? Because I need money. That's very much what the Four of Cups is speaking about. That's that cup. Like I was telling you guys, that's why I laughed hysterically when I saw it. It's like the freaking cloud is giving you a damn cup. Like, when the hell do cups come out of clouds, man? Right? Like, that is clearly miraculous, right? But it's like, nope, this is not pentacles, so this is useless, right? But I feel that's the position you guys are putting yourself in, right? So, and like I said, I keep saying that, but that's the very last card. I'll get to that in a second. But of course, with Three of Cups, that's what our whole premise is here. So it's more or less the solution to your problem is going to come from an unexpected source. It's not required for you guys to lock yourself in a room in the dark and contemplate and ponder on your life and get all existential and stuff like that. Like, meditate all day, light some candles, go on a fast. Like, it's completely unnecessary to do all of that. The thing that, especially pleasure seeking, is like our thing. Come on, right? So it's like the very thing that is inherent to the Taurian nature, right? Which seems counterintuitive, because I feel that's kind of like a conflict that I think because y'all who've been with me for some time know this. Like, Taurus is the most difficult sign to like get woke. Not like the society woke. I mean, like, awakened, right? It's like Taurus we're one of the most difficult signs to have an awakening, right? Because we usually don't typically develop past like the 6th house. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're usually, because we're very earthly oriented, we're the baby of the earth signs. So we have a tendency to get trapped in our sensory consciousness and in 3D because of, our love for the pleasures and things of the sort, right? But what I find with a lot of Tauruses that I've worked with, I even went through this myself. I find a lot of Tauruses who take this, path of enlightenment and whatnot. We get into like this zealot stage, right? Where we once upon a time had no personal accountability. Now we become overly personally accountable, to where we know the pitfalls of pleasures. So the way that we look at solving that is by like cutting that off entirely. You know what I mean? So, because it's like, if I can't find a balance with this, then I'm just not going to fraternize with it at all. Right. But the true goal of this path, see, I did it again. I cannot say words. The true goal of this path is to get to that equilibrium, like to get to that temperance. I cannot freaking talk. Temperance, Jesus. So we're able to, have this ebb and flow with these things and not stay static, because when we go all the way to one side of the Likert scale, we end up becoming static and fixed in a tower energy, and we're not growing, right? So the whole goal here is more or less the solution to your problem is coming through a medium that's very much in alignment with you. But much like I was saying with this Ace of Cups, it's like Taurus is warding it off because it's not practical and linear. You know what I mean? Now, when we come to this, oh, wow, that's 2 cards, because I'm clarifying this King of Wands that's in your hidden influence. So this King of Wands that's in our hidden influence, this is pretty much telling me that everything it is that you need to succeed, Taurus, you have it within you. Like, you have the ability, like I was talking about, that ebb and flow. You have the potential to be able to walk that middle path, if you will, to be able to have in your mind what it is that you want to accomplish, and to be able to go out and create that into this realm and act in accordance with it, right? But of course, with this being in our hidden influence, you're not aware of that. So I feel there's a little bit of self-doubt that's going on here. And I think the typical tendency of any human being, whenever we find ourselves at an impasse, we instantly go backwards because we can't project forwards because we don't know what it is that's next, right? So the key is we're going back and we're trying to think about things that we've done. Like, how did I get here? Did I miss this opportunity? Should I have taken this turn here? Should I have done this differently? And I feel in this particular situation, even that is useless, right? That's not going to be of any use to you. The only thing that's going to be of use to Taurus, which I think this is probably one of the beautiful things I've ever seen for us, is the present moment. Like, the only place that choice exists. You know what I mean? The greatest superpower that humanity is in possession of is our power to choose. And the only place that we can choose is in the present. We can't make choices in the past because we already made the choices. That's over and done with. Like I always say, the past is but a memory. The future is but a dream, right? But in the present, we have the power to truly construct the future, because when we don't use our power of choice, the only thing that the future is a, reflection of what the past is. You know what I mean? Because when we allow our past and we're fixated on that to direct us in the present and influence our decisions, we inadvertently think that we're making choices to get away from that past, but we're truthfully making choices in the direction of that's going to recreate it in the foreseeable future, right? So with this King of Wands, it is clarified by, sweet Jesus. I love this reading. I don't know if y'all can see them because these cards are little. They're bootleg, by the way. But it's strategy in the reverse and victory. So the whole thing is here, Taurus, there is no plan that's enacted right now, because granted, like I said, you're in this meantime, in between time. How could you possibly have a strategy? You don't know where you are. You don't know what you're going. You don't know where you're going. You're not necessarily sure what to do. But the thing is that there's victory in that, right? So I feel this is a specific group of Taurians that I'm speaking to. And the specific Taurians that I'm speaking to would be Taurians who, you're woke Tauruses, I can tell you that. Hey, fellow woke Taurus, right? So you're a woke Taurus that is wanting to make better decisions in your life. You've been doing that up to this point, right? Like making different decisions, maybe taking care of your health, focusing on your finances, career, things of the sort, right? And you have a very strategic way of living your life. Much like I said, it's like, if I can't, drink a little bit, then I'm just not going to drink at all. If I can't smash a little bit and not smash a lot, then I'm not smashing at all, right? So I feel it's very much that kind of Taurus person. So to kind of keep yourself safe, you've, kind of created boundaries for yourself and a very specific strategy and schedule for every day, 5-year plan, all of the things. It's like setting all of that stuff up for success. However, I feel what the whole message is of this is spirit is trying to graduate you guys into a new level, which is that middle of the road level, to where you've mastered that side of the Likert scale, pleasure, 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 no rules, nothing all the time, right? Then you came to this side of the Likert scale where it's schedule, 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 bills, work, responsibilities, adulting all the time. You know what I'm saying? And now spirit is trying to bring you to the middle of the road, like the center point of the Likert scale, to where it's like progression devoid of strategy. You know what I mean? Which sounds counterintuitive, but that's really what it's about. It's like if we think about the Likert scale and the concept of like acceptance and like change, right? It's like if we're just constantly all about acceptance, like, love is acceptance. So I accept everyone. Like, you can screw over me. It's totally fine. I don't need boundaries. Yes, impede on them, right? We can do that, but it's going to screw us over in the process, ruin our lives potentially, right? Then if we're on the concept of like, so we're devoiding change. But then if we're like constantly change, nothing is ever good enough, right? We're not good enough. No one else is good enough. But we want to live in this middle sense, right? Between the contrast of acceptance and change, to where, they're ebb and flow, right? So there's certain times where there's things that we do and we can accept, like, I made a mistake. I accept myself. I'm not going to judge myself. Everyone makes mistakes, right? However, if I don't necessarily like this mistake that I made, I can still accept myself and I can still modify and make changes as well, right? I don't need to pick a side because I'm utilizing both. That's the place that I feel spirit is leading Taurus to at present, to where we're getting out of kind of like this fixed type of mindset or mode of living. So it's more or less with the freedom, in a sense, that the King of Wands brings. And I don't know why I want to use this example of it. It's kind of like if you think about a painter, right? Like a person who paints pictures and stuff like that, like like abstract art and things of the sort. There's a level of, or even what's his name? The guy with the afro who like painted in the 70s, Bob or something like that. It's like, even if you think about with him, like, and I know sometimes he would say, like, sometimes you just got to have a little fun with it. You know what I mean? It's like there is a structure, there's an end goal that we're trying to get to, but there's the freedom to allow for this ebb and flow in between, to where everything doesn't have to be so structured. You know what I mean? And I feel that's what you have the potential to do. That's what's existing within you. However, when we're getting to what the outcome is, being the Three of Wands in the reverse, why I feel this is here, because this is just another reinforcer of what this Four of Cups is saying, is like, until the end of July, I don't feel in the month of July, Taurus is going to get clarity on being in this, we could call it purgatory. Let's call it purgatory, Taurus. That is the perfect word for this. Thank you for that. That is the perfect word for this. Literally, like, the meantime in between time is literally like purgatory, Taurus. That's literally what it is, right? So by the end of July, I don't feel that Taurus is going to have clarity on where to go next. I can tell you that for sure. But I feel that there's a method to the madness, because I feel the reason why this future is blocked is because if I were to kind of put all of this together, child, I feel the reason why the future is blocked is because I feel the path or the trajectory that the Taurians that will resonate with this were on wasn't necessarily the ideal path for you. You know what I mean? So, or it wasn't necessarily truly in alignment with your true desires, And I feel you're being offered like an opportunity to course correct. But I feel because of how Taurus has conditioned themselves up to this point, you're not seeing the opportunity in the course correct, because I feel the pipeline it's coming through is hella ideal. But of course, I'm saying this from my objective standpoint. I feel in the subjective place that, still said that word wrong. Subjective, what is wrong with my mouth? I feel the subjective place that Taurus is in, being in this situation, you can't see where there is an opportunity, right? But because you are inherently who you are, a Taurus who likes pleasurable things, That's the reason why I feel spirit is sending, cannot talk. That's why I feel spirit is sending this down the pleasure pipeline. So the solution to Taurus's problems that we're talking about in this Four of Swords, right, with the challenge to overcome is self-punishment and fasting from everything is not the solution. You've been there, you've done that. It's gotten you to where it is that you are now, quite possibly, right? It's gotten you successful. It got you through school, it got you a promotion, whatever the case. But the key is now that's not the method of success moving forward, right? So this is about releasing the reins a little bit and giving yourself permission to live a little. And I feel that the solution to your problem is going to come through the mode of pleasure and desires, which is what this Three of Cups is talking about and the what to look out for. So the thing that Taurus needs to look out for is invitations. People who are asking you on dates, people who are asking you to hang out, people who are asking you to come over, co-workers wanting to go to a happy hour, get a couple of drinks after work, whatever the case. It's like, or your family asking you to come hang out, go to a baby shower, whatever the case. Things that you're getting invited to this month and moving forward, this is going to be the pathway out of this, purgatory stagnation that you guys have been in up to this point. And like I said, it's coming in the form of a challenge because this is the most counterintuitive thing to do, right? And the thing that I'm being told for somebody out there in TV land or YouTube land, rather, that scares you because and I get it, because they're telling me something like it's with someone, whoever this resonates with. It's something about college, right? So the person this message is for, the thing that triggers the person about this whole having fun when stuff isn't necessarily good in life, it's something that triggers this person about college. So what I'm assuming is that for this particular person, when you were in college, this was like an unhealthy coping skill for you. So when you would fail a test or something, you would go out and party, hang out with friends and all of that to run away from, that shame or disappointment or whatever of not meeting an expectation that you set. And I feel when you made the life change, you decided okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Whenever something goes wrong, I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to sit with the sadness. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to, be personally accountable. I'm a problem solver. I'm going to work my way through it, create a plan to turn it around or get out of this, right? So the thought of you having fun when things are less than stellar, why that causes so much discomfort is because your fear is that you're going to turn back into that person that you were in college. And I feel the reason why that came up is to tell you that you're not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how old you are. Heck, I don't even know who you are. Hey, how you doing? My name's Princess India. Nice to meet you. Comment below so I know who you are. But anyway, moving right along. But I don't know how old you are, but you've grown a lot since then. And, especially when it comes to coping skills and things of the sort, you've learned more of that. But I feel, and that's a rational fear. I can say lots of my clients have that fear. It's the thought of, you morphing back into that person and undoing all of the progress that you made up to this point. But I can tell you that's not, the case, because you know better and thus you do better. And now you know better, so you can do better. You know what I mean? So all in all, I say with this Taurus, the whole key for the month of July, as counterintuitive as it sounds, is allowing yourself to do things you enjoy and to connect with, friends, family members, people that you care about, despite where it is that you are at present, because you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. And I feel where you guys are now, it's like you're just ruminating on the same stuff. Like that writer at the computer with writer's block, you need new inspiration. You need fresh energy. You need to laugh at, a crazy joke, have a deep belly laugh. You know what I mean? Because you never know what it is that you encounter while you're fraternizing and gallivanting, right? That may inspire you, or a conversation you may have that may connect you with exactly where it is that you need to be, right? Because otherwise you're just going to stay stagnant. So you guys being blocked at present is actually a good thing, because it's giving you an opportunity to recreate a new future that you would have never had you stayed on that path that you were on, that was very predictable and, clearly seen and whatnot, or whatever. But anywho, Taurus, that has been your soul session. Gosh, Taurus, y'all are the longest soul session. That's been your soul session for the month of July. And some of you guys may have seen it. I'm very excited that my laptop, Bertha, did not cut off on you guys, but I have a GoFundMe going, and I'm telling everyone, donate to my GoFundMe to keep me off of OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Because if my GoFundMe doesn't work, that's what I'm gonna have to do. It's just gonna be titties and tarot cards. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, donate to my GoFundMe. The link is in my community tab. Any amount is sufficient. You could donate 50 cents and I'll love your face forever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get a new laptop, so, my equipment's a little upgraded and I can give you guys doper content. But anywho, I love your freaking face, Taurus, and I will see you guys sooner than